Hello everyone, CPAT here with another Exceed commentary, and today we have a very special match. This is going to be a Week 4 Hallowed Nights match run in the Breakfast Club Discord by Polterghost, and this is basically going to be our Grand Finals match if we look at it, because it's going to be... Hallowed Nights is a Swiss-only tournament, and these are the last two undefeated competitors. It is D. Tarankin against Chykka, and we're going to be seeing the Cat Mine come out against Chykka's Phonon. Chykka's Phonon's been performing very well in the tournament, as has D's Carmine, so this should be interesting. D, of course, as we all know, one of the early pioneers of Carmine gaming. Interesting that D's allowing Carmine to strike Phonon. D just allowed Phonon to have the +2 power strike. I'm actually quite interested. I wonder why he went for the Veil off strat. It's going to be a 4 power 2 satisfaction coming in. Let's see if Chykka reveals for advantage. Looks like he does not. D does opt to block, so he does build early gauge. I believe D likes to go for these two ultras. Looks like we got the family friendly as well. So D has built 2 early gauge. I wonder if he's going to revert. I feel like he can't. I mean, if he's reverting, the thing is he's going to be spending 2 cards from hand this turn. You really don't want to be standing at range 5 against Phonon. You definitely want to be closer than that. Looks like D, and like especially with no dissolves in play. So I believe Chykka's been practicing this matchup. Oh, looks like our first dissolve comes in at range 1 from Phonon, range 4 from Carmine. So now, of course, the only thing being threatened is that spin. 1 to 4, 4 to 6. However, the problem is it's Phonon, right? So Phonon still has attacks that hits with +2 power. Impulse of Frustration's a 2 to 5, 5, 4. That hits. Sliding Affliction is a 1 to 5, 3, 3, 4 that hits and gains advantage off itself as well. Could be Suppressive Restriction, although I think Chykka likes to save his Suppressive Restrictions for his Munials. At least that's what he was doing against me when we were practicing. Or when he was practicing his Phonon against me. So I do expect this to be probably just the Sliding Affliction. If he has that, and if he doesn't have it, then it's the Impulsive Frustration. So Phonon getting the if this attack lands, Phonon will be able to get the early quote-unquote snowball, which is pretty important. D has to spend a Pulverize to not get stunned, and it is going to be the Impulsive Frustration. So this will be a 5 power Impulsive Frustration. D takes 3 damage. Unfortunately, spending the Pulverize means that D also spends the Reckless Run, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're going to see the flip back into the D Exceed from D. Notably now, the U blank, this is the end, will hit. Phonon can avoid that with by like mixing up, I guess. Phonon will actually choose to respect 3. Ooh, okay, this is a little bit spicy. I guess this is one way to counter the U blank, this is the end. Just by getting out of range of it. D, of course, has now D-exceeded. Or reverted. D-exceeded, that's funny. Sorry, it's late, so we're going to be making jokes like that. But that basically means that D cannot place this one onto the board this turn as well. Nor do I think he would want to, just because it's the second U-blank, this is the end, and D is definitely a Carmine that loves using those 3 gauge ultras, both the be devoured, which is an insane ultra when you spend multiple ultras for it, and we're going to see the counter respect come out from D. Moving to range 1, the dissolve placement is bad for now. This will allow Phonon to potentially strike with like an 8 damage sweep or 5 damage grasp. Notably, the one grasp is down, however. I expect D did this to play cross to strike with cross on defense. Cross on defense seems really good here, where in a world where Phonon has dropped 1 grasp already. And yeah, there's the cross, and yeah, we called that out perfectly. Chykka will get to draw a card. 6 damage focus will miss. D will take 1 damage, and now, yeah, this is why he did it, right, for this kind of placement. D will shift the dissolve to center space and move Carmine, his character, to the corner. Phonon does have a free turn to strike again. Well, it's not free, as in spin will hit back. But Phonon does have a turn to strike with +2 power here if Chykka wants to take it with either second copy of Impulsive or the Sliding Affliction. Can also technically like bait out something, but and I guess it's not really it's not a free turn because I forgot that this is the you blank. This is the end, which will trade super well here. Looks like D has found the anti-Phonon tech that he of just keeping this close to Phonon so that she can't actually strike with the with her like range 5 moves, just always threatening that. Chykka, I'm assuming if he had a tech hit, he'd spend it on this because this is so annoying. This this particular ultra is just so annoying to Phonon. I think a tech hit would be worth it on this for sure if Chykka had one. The only problem with a tech hit, however, is that Chykka can't get the +2 power on the tech hit, so that means a lot of the stuff actually misses, right? Only the suppressive hits. Everything else basically misses, which is kind of sad. If Chykka wants to treat this as a throwaway turn, he can boost something like a Baroque Noise. I mean, this boost is just so good to just randomly throw out. +1 power, draw 2 cards, and then returns to your hand at the on an after. Like that, this boost is just very good, just like randomly throw out. Like you throw out that, suddenly you can threaten something weird like an EX sliding deflection or sliding affliction on defense, that sort of thing. Phonon spending 2 force. Interesting. We'll see the mix-up come out. So now Chykka threatening dive, or the tuning satisfaction, or the suppressive restriction as well. Interesting mix-up here for D. I think, so the thing is, spin deals with all of them. But the problem with spin is that the blank this is the end will go to gauge at the end of it. So this is an interesting 50-50 for sure. We'll just go for the thrust, however, which will beat all those options except for the suppressive. This will be a 3 power thrust. He will choose not to trigger the dissolve, and why would he not when it's doing such good work? Just hampering Phonon here. Wonder if Phonon will have to take a trade with it at some point. I think D probably pops this Hublank. This is the end if he was exceeded, but he's not, so wants to keep that threat on board at all times. Looks like there's a very clear plan here. So it looks like Superior gets boosted. So notably, this affects the ranges of the X cards. So notably these two and then the Ultras. I think only one of the Ultras can be played. Yeah, this Ultra can be played. Now we're going to see the second copy of Veil Off boosted for Carmine. Carmine now with 6 gauge. So two Ultras back to back on deck. Yeah, this single card has really put a huge wrench in Chykka's plans, it feels like. Just unable to find a suitable trade for him with this card just standing on the middle of the board. Like D's just gotten like this kind of range against any other character is so good for Phonon. Like this is how Phonon wins games normally, but this single trap boost is countering that play completely. And then on top of that, this trap boost goes onto it. Looks like a reading coming out from D. Reading hits, assault into the Polv. So wastes the Superior as well. Assault will go first. will miss, obviously, and then Pulverize will hit back for 4, but diffusing this superior boost as well. Also keeping the Ultra on center space as well. D has 7 cards now engage. Back to Carmine here. Or back to Phonon here, excuse me. Phonon can initiate a range 3 mix-up with +1 power in theory. Spent 1 assault, 1 dive, and 1 spike each. Just gonna be pinging the side of the board there. Oh, it looks like they're having a chat. Chykka is notably a slow player, so he's going to be taking his time here. We saw one of Chykka's last matches take, what, 4 hours or something like that? I did not have the pleasure of seeing that match, but I believe D casted that. You can check it on his channel. Oh, looks like we are striking and then taking it back immediately. This kind of build up as we see second superior boosted from Chykka. This kind of build up allowing D to build dissolves has to be bad for Phonon, right? Can't be good for Phonon. You're allowing Carmine to get to the cards that he wants. I mean, if you look at the cards that Carmine has swung with, there's what, like 1 Pulverizer here and 2 of these Ultras, and that's it. Halfway through the deck, as we see an expenditure of 1 force, 2 force, probably, nope, move into range 1. Moving to range 1 is definitely interesting, because now this allows Phonon to strike with a +2 power EX normal from range 1. D, I guess, prefers that to range 3, however, maybe even has like a block on deck to neutralize this, or an EX sweep or something of his own. But just this one singular card has just been doing so much work in this matchup, with Carmine sticking to the corners and Phonon being forced to play middle board. It's actually quite shocking. Okay, Phonon initiating +2 power wild swing. This is crazy. Just gets blocked. It's gonna be a 2 power. It's gonna be a 2 power suppressive restriction. That's wild. What is going on? I guess Chykka felt the need to strike. We called out that D would have the block there. Didn't have a suitable card in hand with which to strike. So we'll take a look at suppressive restriction here. It's a 1-8, 2, 3, 1, 7. After push or pull X, X is this card's power, draw 2. So are we pushing Carmine to the corner, or are we bringing Carmine across to where that... in both situations, the blood pool will technically be live, The build pool will be less live here, but Phonon's been having difficulty in this kind of board state already, so maybe... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you kind of have to push him to the corner just because otherwise the dissolve is really live here. And sorry, I'll do a better job of zooming in on these cards. But yeah, second block down for D, as we expected. Chykka draws 2 cards off that combat. It's now back to Carmine, who will then revert and then use the Carmine UA, putting the dissolve on top of Phonon. This is basically now a range 3 mix-up with +2 power on it. Nothing too fancy about it. D with only 2 cards in hand, however. Notably, a bunch of Carmine stuff will hit, like Thrust will hit, Spin will hit, Pulverize will hit, Gimme That will miss, Twist will miss, and then, of course, these are Ultras that are expensive and can be wild swung out anyway. Notably, the blank This Is the End also sticks like glue to Phonon now. D out of Veil Offs, but has a ability engage to exceed back whenever he so chooses. It's actually a really dynamic gameplay from D here. I'm really liking this Carmine gameplay. Chykka had 8 cards in hand, so we'll have to strike to maintain his hand size, or we'll have to find another way to drop his hand size. Maybe even tuning satisfaction. At the very least, because of D's singular dissolve, Tech Hit looks really good here for Phonon here. But it looks like Tech Hit's just not available, which is kind of sad. Phonon striking with +2 power. Again, range 3 mix-up. Could also be the Binding Beatitude. That's would be an interesting strike. Looks like D going to be striking with the blank This Is the End. Catches the tuning satisfaction. Wow. Well done for D. Anticipating that this wasn't the assault or dive. Chykka will reveal another copy of Tuning Satisfaction to yoink advantage, but will take 7 damage for it. I mean, unfortunately, we kind of predicted that Chykka would have to trade with the blank This Is the End at some point in a lot of worlds, but has traded with it for now. Phonon does have a free turn of striking if he chooses, but no, we're just going to be boosting the charge attack +2 power when you advance or retreat adds to gauge. I guess if you're striking with Tuning Satisfaction from your hand, you don't have assault or dive. D only has a couple cards in hand, notably caught on front side. So these 3 Ultras in here aren't going to do a ton of work unless, of course, this is the plan. If this is the plan, then this would be a 1-4, 11-7, 1-4, 12-7 now with the superior in play. And I could definitely see D going for this. I think I've seen him go for this kind of play before. The ha 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 be devoured line. Notably, 1 engaged, so 1 still in deck somewhere. Only 2 cards in hand for D. D's been playing low hand size all game. I wonder if... Well, D was basically allowed to do this in the up until recently because he just had this on board, right? So this was just a constant threat always on board. But now that he doesn't have it on board, will Chykka dare to strike into the potential 1-4, 12-6 that D is currently threatening? Is it 12 or is it only 9? Sorry, it's not 12, it's only 10. We can't add. But yeah, so this will be +6 power, +0 to 3 range. So this will be a 1-4, 10-7. Not a bad looking stat line at all with the superior in play. And we're going to see Phonon spend 2 force to retreat to range 5. Will more force be spent? Nope, no, just the 2 force to retreat to range 5. Notably, if these 2 cards are mix-up and ha 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 be devoured, which is extremely low probability, then that's the play. But I don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, this is not the best positioning for D at this particular moment. Phonon threatening a +4 power move on her turn, and +2 power move right now. And what are we doing here? Oh, okay. They're just resolving the fact that charge attack goes to gauge off that, which actually kind of sucks. I bet Chykka wanted to keep that in play. So now Photon's threatening nothing on defense, but I don't think that matters so much. D checking his discard. Might be thinking of an early reshuffle. I doubt it. I feel like there's still a good amount of gas left in the deck for D. I wonder in a world of early reshuffle. No, it's not going to be an early reshuffle. It's going to be a move 1, again threatening that 1/4/7. Draw for end of turn. So only the move 1. Back to Chykka here. Again, has to contend with that. We're going to see the resonance boosted from Chykka. If you initiate this strike +2 speed, otherwise +2 power. So if D initiates, then we're probably going to see a block come out from Chykka to deal with the potential 1-4, 10-6, 10-7 on the board. But if Chykka initiates, he can, in theory, match speed. So, or he can beat speed 7. He can beat speed 7 with a compounding plots guidance ascension. Compounding plots +1 power, take another action. Guidance ascension is a speed 6 at range 4. This will be a 4/4/6 hit push 2. So can threaten that on his turn. It's a little bit telegraphed because you're throwing down a compounding plots with it, but I mean, there's not a whole lot D can do about that with the current board state. Notably, Phonon does have a little bit of freedom without these on the board because they're both stuck in gauge. But obviously, like this is still the main threat, right? This is still very much the main threat. D opts to strike. Is this the fake or is this the real? Is the question Phonon has to ask herself. Notably, we know that only 1 copy is left of Haha Be Devoured. Range 4 options for D that don't include that would just be the spin or the dive. Luckily, Phonon does have 2 blocks left, so even if she spends one, she will have a second one for the next threat, assuming that this is not the Be Devoured. D also saying, okay, I'd much rather you have +2 power than +2 speed, also diffusing this boost as well. The resonance. So yeah, Chykka has to make a pretty hard call here. Down already 8 life. Deck size is relatively even. I don't think this game's going to deck out, however. Ooh, Chykka not choosing to respect... I feel like this loses to so many combats, no? He's explicitly calling out spin. So did D play spin, or did he play EX dive? No, he played Haha Be Devoured. This is going to be 10 power. Just goes for it. Chykka spends 3 gauge and has now lost the game. Well, no, hasn't lost the game, but is looking very, very bad now. Spends all of his gauge as well. Yeah, I mean, this directly calls out spin, but also, I guess it does, because it would be +2 power, so it'd be 7 power. But no, it's EX spin. So actually, doesn't this lose to everything? I feel like this loses to everything as we see a Baroque noise come out from Phonon. Back to D, who will now Even though he spent his you blanks, this is the end, which is what he was using to throttle Phonon's early game, D is definitely still super advantaged here, up 25 to 7. We'll just choose to prepare. Well, Phonon now has the speed 6 guidance ascension if she wants to use that. That's now part of the mix-up here, assuming Phonon strikes with UA. And then, of course, we have our usual culprits in sliding and impulsive. No gauge for either Ultra now. And I guess the comeback begins now. So I guess D has to call it whether this is fast or mid-speed. Wonder if there's a world if D just plays Assault and hopes it's not the Guidance Ascension. Nope, D will just Wild Swing. Wild Swing's the spin. It is just the Tuning Satisfaction. It's a 5-power Tuning Satisfaction. We'll push the spin out of the way as well, which is good. Although, for some reason, spin's thing is an after, and it's not an if you hit. I did not know that. Apparently, spin can just advance to any range, as long as it's not stunned. That's so goofy. Whatever. So this is going to be a 5-power Tuning Satisfaction. D will get pushed one, and then D will get to advance wherever he wants. He chooses to advance right into Phonon's face. Makes sense to me. Baroque Noise will be returned to hand as per the ability. It's optional, but don't know why you'd not want to do it ever. Yeah, spin moving to range 1 is kind of a big deal there, because otherwise Chykka could have set up another strike with a compounding plots. We're gonna see the air dash retreat to the corner for Chykka. Back to D here. Range 4, both spins are down, I believe. One dive is up, however. Only one dive was used for reading, and the second one is up. We're gonna see D place a twist directly underneath Phonon. Very hard telegraphing the dive, actually. Or, I guess the spin also gets telegraphed there. But right underneath. It's interesting. Interesting choice. Back to Phonon here. Phonon boosting that compounding plots that we were talking about earlier. +1 power, now take another action. Striking with the UA. Now this super telegraphs the Guidance Ascension, in my opinion. We'll take a look at this. One copy left in the deck, I believe. But, like, why else would you spend this compounding plots? So I hope it's not the Guidance Ascension. But I don't know what else it would be is the problem. What could it pretend? I hope it's actually the Sliding Affliction. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see. If it was a 6-power Sliding Affliction. I really want to see Chykka make that bait when he's down this much life. D responding with an EX. EX, give me that. Just gonna mitigate armor. Or mitigate damage, excuse me. We'll mitigate all the damage. Of course, this has 4 armor when EX. D will get pushed to... D will opt to move, take a step back, and move the Dissolve with him as well, interestingly enough. We're at Rage a Billion, so nothing from Carmine hits, but the problem with Rage a Billion is that nothing much from Phonon hits. So you could technically add... So basically this is the card that we're looking at here for. The second copy of Complete Servitude, right? So if we tack on a Mooniel with this, or if we boost a Mooniel and do something with that, or if we use this Ultra, then maybe that would be good. But no, Chykka says, can't do that. We'll spend 4 force to move forward. Feeling that he needs to be on the offensive, Carmine will now take corner and bring the Dissolve with him. Phonon at range 4, so does have some options. Good luck stunning Carmine out, though, at range 4. At the very least, it is +2 power, and it is going to be a tech that hits. Carmine low on deck. Phonon low on deck as well, so options are starting to become more and more known for both players. Ooh. Chykka taking a look at the discard there for a little bit. Maybe think you have a reading. It's the first time I've seen him look at the discard, I believe. So I believe the situation is that these guys will not be playing their full set today. I think they're doing a part of it now, and then they'll be doing a part of it later. I think D doesn't want to play for longer than 90 minutes or something. That's what he said. And Chykka's is like allowing that, I guess. So we will probably not be seeing the whole match today, seeing how we're only 30 minutes in. Last one, these guys gets 3-0'd in super convincing fashion. Like we saw Chykka's set. So Chykka's definitely the player who takes the long time, right? He's just a slow player. Likes to think of his options, and I mean works well for him, right? Him being like a top 5, top 10 player in Exceed. We'll see the tech hit come out. That's tech hit. So obviously for the thrust. Tech hit into focus, trying to bait out a dive. Interesting. Unfortunately, no. I guess. I mean, you can't. I'm sorry. So while I should have been mentioning that thrust was the threat at range 2, right? We'll take a look at this powerhouse card here. Right, thrust was the thing that Phonon didn't want to deal with, and that's why Carmine was creating all this distance, right? It's because thrust was basically uncontestable at that point. Phonon now striking with +2 power, I believe. Yeah, after de-preparing. So we're taking a look at 1 copy of Impulsive, I believe, and 1 copy of Sliding as well. No copies of Tuning, I believe. Is there spin left for D? No, D wild swings twist. Twist will be invalidated. We'll find something new, and we're seeing the sliding affliction come out from Chykka. Well, technically, yeah, I'm assuming this is gonna be a push. 5 power sliding affliction. Push 2, gain advantage. Chykka can pull 2 if he so chooses, but I think pull 2 is a little sketch because he doesn't have a cross left. Notably, D at the bottom of his deck. 6 cards in hand, 1 card in deck, really vulnerable to reading, and on top of that, I believe only has 1. Like, this is his last dissolve before the reshuffle, so this is prime time for Phonon to make a comeback. Really, like this is as good as it's gonna get for Phonon. Although I do expect Carmine on his turn to CC his whole hand and try to dig for as many dissolves as possible. That seems like a super correct play. Anyway, it is Phonon's turn, however, because she gained advantage off the sliding affliction. But I do expect Carmine to perform a big CC action. But yeah, the thought I was saying before that strike was basically whenever that blood pool's 2 spaces away, this is the card you have to be always worried about. Thrust is a 0 to 1 becomes 0 to 2 because of the before effect on the dissolves, of course. Because 0 to 2, 5, 6. That's why I guess I did a bad job of explaining that earlier. But when your dissolve is 2 spaces away, that's when thrust becomes the threat, right? 2 or less spaces away. Thrust is always part of the mix-up, and thrust kind of destroys Phonon, low-key. Thrust is very well into Phonon. Anyway, it is Chykka's turn. Kind of low on hand size. Chykka opting for the reshuffle action, interestingly enough. Mix-up for Carmine. Range 3 mix-up into a very known EX. Into a super known EX. What EX is this? I don't know it. Is it EX Assault that D's throwing right now? Known hand as well. I'm sure they'll get to that after. Is there any way this EX is not known? It is the Assault into the sweep. D will take this trade any day of the week. 5 for 5, but D has 10 life to Phonon's 2. Phonon pulls the thrust from D's hand. Will D initiate again? Does D have a good card to initiate with? Again, this hand technically known, but D is not showing it to us. There it is. Oh, will D strike with EX sweep? Is the question. Will D strike with regular sweep? Nope. D throws EX sweep onto the table. Says, hey, Phonon, deal with this. 7 power. Does Phonon have the block? Does Phonon have... Phonon basically just needs block. Or dive, yeah. Phonon will dive over the EX sweep. So, I mean, Phonon still in this, having the dive. I believe that was not drawn. I believe that was kept from Phonon before the reshuffle. So good keep there, keeping good track of D's remaining cards. All slows. Only the spin left, so surely Phonon will... I mean, does Phonon have a good initiate here? She might not. Only 2 cards in hand. Will Phonon throw out something risky, like a speed 4 Impulsive Frustration, if she has it? I feel like you have to go for that with these life tills at 10 to 2. Notably, as Phonon, you only get +1 power because last turn was a strike. But I think as Phonon, if you have a push, you go for it here. If you don't, then you just have to simply prepare. Is there a world where you change cards instead of preparing? Yes, if one of those 2 cards in your hand is dead, I think you change cards. But no, looks like Phonon opting for a strike here. With +1 power. I wonder if D plays the spin anyway, or he goes for the wild swing. I believe he probably just goes for the wild swing. There's no reason. It's the gimme that, which will trade kind of with the Impulsive Frustration. D will take 1 damage. We'll get pushed out of the way. So, I mean, this Impulsive Frustration, we saw it coming from a mile away. D probably has to change cards that Ultra. No, doesn't. Says no. Says I will hop back to range 7 and then prep. I really like that from D. Really, really good play. Really, really good play. Forcing Phonon to spend resources to come in, and then D will get to prep once more. And Phonon has to basically come in this turn, and she only has 1 card in her hand as well, so... No, Phonon chooses to prep at range 7. Okay. I guess, yeah, Phonon doesn't have to move in quite yet, although the onus is definitely on Phonon to move in, right? The only Phonon doesn't move in is if Phonon draws like a Mooniel, and then even then like a Mooniel for 6, and then but needs to have this hit at range 7. So D actually draws a Dissolve and puts it here. D draws a second Dissolve and puts it here. Wow, very good draws from D. All of a sudden, this spin almost hits the board. That's so unfortunate for Chykka. That's not what you want to see at all. That's so unfortunate. Getting 2 blood pools down this early in such a position. Notably, D can order his befores to trigger this blood pool first, and then this one if he's gonna miss for some reason with the spin. So Chykka can't really even afford to strike here with a block or something. Just preps. Will now take 1 non-lethal damage, put another blood pool down, and now, I mean, that rain blood. Now we have 3 dissolves down, and this looks horrible. What does Chykka do about this? Carmine can now threaten, in theory, something that's... I mean, he's got +3 maximum range, essentially, on his moves. So everything's threatened here. Except for Grasp, I guess, but what's Phonon... How does Phonon handle this at range 5? I have no idea. Can Phonon afford to move to the other side of the board, perhaps? Like, if Phonon just dumps a bunch of force and ends up here, is that okay? Because Phonon does have 4 gauge and 7 cards in hand. Move action seems to be one way to deal with this setup. I don't see another one. Yeah, Chykka would have to spend 6 force to get to the other side of Carmine here. 1, 2. Choosing to keep the 2 gauge for the Ultra. For binding BD2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Will Chykka move further than that? Or will he stay at range 1? Notably at 2 HP, if he moves here and Carmine moves back, moves this one forward, we'll die to Grasp, even with this focus. Yep, Chykka spending 6 force to move to the other side of the board. Makes complete sense to me. Back to D. Well, I'm assuming we'll just Carmine Shuffle. Step back, pop this forward. Seems like the correct play to me. Unless, of course, there's a boost or something in D's hand that he wants to go for. Nope. We'll instead draw a 4th Ultra and use that to step back 3. D just... Wow, this reshuffle is actually insane. This reshuffle from Carmine is actually insane. On one hand, it does mean that his options are limited. We're going to see the respect come from Phonon to range 1. Does D strike into this? Does D strike into this with a Grasp? I guess Phonon like heavy telegraphing that she's a block in hand to deal with this current strike. Does D strike into it anyway? Looks like he does. It's going to be a sweep into the block. It's going to trigger 2 blood pools. It's going to be a 10 power block. Or 10 power sweep, excuse me. Luckily, Phonon has some gauge. So that's 6 total armor. Needs to spend 2 more force to not take anything. Spends focus, and then spends 1 more card in his hand. So it's the guided succession. Okay, so we'll block, mitigate the damage completely. As he, of course, needed to because he had 2 HP. Grasp, Respect, unfortunately, drops. Back to Phonon here. Blood pool, 1 blood pool on the board, directly under Carmine. Notably, a bunch of blood pools are, like, gone now. Unfortunately, Chykka only has 2 health to work with. If he had a slightly better early game, then it would have been better. No, we're going to see a strike come out from Phonon. That's spicy. That's incredibly spicy. Are we going fast or slow? In theory, sweep kills from Phonon. Dive. Cross. 5 power cross. Phonon finds a way to range 4. Dive trigger. Dive, of course, no guard on that, so that dissolve drops. Carmine has to spend a turn to exceed before he gets blood pools down. Has Chykka turned this around? I mean, obviously Carmine exceeds, yeah. Carmine exceeds. Does Phonon prepare or CC2? Is there a world where Phonon wild swings with +2 power? Probably not, but nope. Chykka's going for it. Oh, he got the tuning satisfaction too. But D draws the cross. This endgame is wild. Oh no, D drawing literally the perfect set of cards here. It feels like he had an answer for everything. And now Phonon, what can you do? You're at range 6 now. Your thrust is being threatened. I feel like you have to CC2 that instead of... Well, can you even afford to CC2? Or do you move action to move closer? And just hope that D hasn't drawn the nuts with the thrust. I can't believe that Phonon actually got a card that hits with the tuning satisfaction, which would have been lethal. Chykka opts to prepare. And here's going to be the thrust from Carmine. And, I mean, what can you do against that draw? Like, what can you do against that draw? Literally drawing D drew everything that he needed in the top 12 cards of his deck. and just yoinks game one. That's so. I feel for Phonon there. I really do feel for Phonon. But yeah, D takes game one with Carmine over Phonon. D, I believe his characters left are Yuzuriha and not Hakumen, Ragna. Yuzuriha and Ragna. And the characters that Chykka has left, Chykka, of course, per the tournament rules, will be sticking on that Phonon. And on top of that has the Bang and the Hide. I don't think we've seen a Hide come out. Chykka does play a good Hide. I don't think we've seen a Hide come out before. Phonon. I remember I played Phonon into Yuzu. I played into Yuzu once, and he went for a risky reading and lost the game off at 30-0, which is pretty funny. Can Yuzu deal with Phonon's pushing? I guess we're not going to find out, because D will be bringing out the Ragna. Just a nice, simple Unga Bunga character. Take a look at this UA. Hit, gain 1 life. There you go. That's all you need to see. Wait. You just realized there's like a background. Are all the season 5 portraits like this? Hold on. Let's investigate. Wait, what? What? Do you guys know this? Leave a comment if you knew this already. But apparently, like, the background of these season 5 characters is just a zoomed in version of their face. I don't play season 5 very much, but like I guess I should have known this. Is this like no knowledge? First of all, that one looks kind of bad, but like what? The background for their portrait is just a zoomed in version of their face. I had no idea. I never noticed this before. Looks like the game's already starting, but there's more important things to do here. Did you guys know this? Surely there's at least one person out there that did not know this, and I hope it's the majority of people that did not know that. What is going on? Why is there so much shuffling happening? Looks like Phonon will be going first into Ragna. Did you guys know that? I noticed that for the first time today just by zooming in on this character card. That's so weird. Phonon going first I think makes a huge difference from Phonon going second, because Phonon gets the Phonon action with +2 power, because guess what? The turn before strike doesn't count previous game. Just gets blocked again from D, and it's going to be the Impulsive Frustration. 2 to 4, 5-4. D will get pushed to 2. We'll take 1 damage. Okay. Drops the Assault, and then we'll immediately run into range 3. Back to Phonon. Phonon gets another +2 power strike if she so chooses. Assault Dive Spike mix up. Very good here. +2 power again. And such is the power of Phonon. Wonder if, ooh, spicy. Phonon going for the dive. Diving over the focus. D will not be stunned. We'll draw 1. We're seeing the Azure Grimoire come out, and D spends the full 5 for it. I was talking to someone about this boost, and I feel like this boost is slightly overrated. I feel like that boost is slightly overrated, right? Because, okay, so D spends 5 life to take another action, basically, and draw 1 card. As we can see, the Hell's Fang, the range 1 Hell's Fang against Spike, which works. Hell's Fang will deal 4 damage, and the Wild Swing Spike will deal 5 back. D yoinks advantage, but I don't know. It's basically you're spending 5 life to draw 1 extra card and take another action. I don't know if that's super worth it or not. Well, no, it's probably still worth it in a lot of cases, but I feel like this boost is actually overrated. Let me know. Is that a hot take? This is my hot take of the day. Azure Grimoire overrated? ? Maybe that should be our title for the video. Azure Grimoire overrated. But I don't know, just mathematically, it feels overrated. We're going to see the Assault into the Suppressive Restriction, so the Assault will go first, hit for 4, Suppressive Restriction will hit back for 1. We'll draw Chykka a bunch of cards, and Chykka will actually draw 2, forming a little bit of an advantage chain here. What is... Oh, Chykka's looking at his hand. Looks like he will opt to pull 1. Oh, no, opts to push 1. Now, notably, Ragna has an upper... D going for the Wild Swing. What What kind of is this allowed? What kind of goonery is this? This is a tournament finals, and you're gonna be wild swinging just like that. I guess it's range 2, and Ragnar does have a decent amount of options that hit at range 2. Gauntlet Haze will hit because Phonon's in the corner. Blood Scythe will hit. Death Spike will hit. Hell's Fang will hit. Inferno Divider will hit. Chykka going for the wild swing in response sweeps a pretty good response to whatever D's throwing here. It's the Carnage Scissors. Does D want to spend 2 force to trade 5 or 2 gauge to trade 5 for 6? There are better looking wild swings than that, and yeah, D agrees. He will get the Inferno Divider, so this will be a 5-powered Inferno Divider trading evenly into the 5-power sweep, which will, or a 6-power sweep with a heal 1 on it. D will drop a card. D will drop the Grasp from his hand. Inferno Divider obviously hits. Good couple wild swings there from Phonon, actually. This one particularly and this one. 2 out of 3 is pretty good for Phonon. Given the fact that a lot of cards are kind of poopy. They're kind of bad. Back to Phonon here. Can initiate with a +1 power if she so chooses. Spending 1 force to flip. We'll take a look at Phonon's backside. At what? Oh, is oh man, this is disgusting behavior. This is disgusting behavior. Just wild swing. Wild swing Ragna. Very cool character. Phonon wild swings in response. The cross that gets caught by the suppressive. That is unfortunate for D. Although he does have a copy of Carnage Scissors left. We'll take a look at Carnage Scissors here. Attacks at range 4 or 5 do not hit you. This directly counters Phonon, at the very least. Suppressive Restriction will probably push to range 6, if I had to guess. And then we'll draw 2 more cards. I think Phonon will take that trade any day. Good wild swings on Phonon for defense. Phonon draws 2 cards. Now, notably, can throw out, like, EX Complete Servitude or something like that. Can throw out, can boost something with Compounding Plots and then strike with +2 power. And it's going to be a 6-power Sliding Infliction. Gauntlet Haze will miss and get stunned. Push or pull 2, gain advantage. And what kind of goonery are we witnessing on this Ragna? I guess D thought that this was like the best way to handle Phonon pressure. Just by wild swinging like a madman. And to be fair, Chykka has had some good wild swings on defense. But now Ragna down 5 life to 14. Of course, Phonon action, we'll take a look at this now. Spend 1 gauge strike. Your attack is +2 power regardless of whether last turn was a strike. If the last turn was not a strike, you can close or retreat 1 before sending your attack. Pretty good, honestly, pretty good backside. I like it looks inconsequential, but free movement is always underrated by the majority of Exceed players. So free movement, it's not free, but I mean movement is... Like, movement and, excuse me, is what I'm trying to say. It's movement and, I think, is historically been underrated by most Exceed players. As we're going to see, Phonon spend 1 force to move to range 3, threatening that EX Assault. We see Ragna Exceed. So Ragna exceeds, can close up to 1, draw 1, and strike. So we'll close to range 2 and wild swing again. Oh my word, this is, I hope, I don't want to make like a disparaging remark or anything, but the fact that the character can do this is so annoying. I hate it. And it's like it's not like a categorically awful play, right? Because all these cards hit at range 2. It's just like what kind of degenerate gameplay is this, right? Like, I don't know, man. We're gonna see just a block come out. Hopefully it's not a Gauntlet Hades or a Spike. It's a sweep. That's not great either. Ragnar will gain 2 health per the UA. Pulls the Tuning Satisfaction out. This will be a 6-power sweep coming in. I'm assuming Phonon will spend the 2 force to not take anything. Phonon. Oh, and of course this is a +1 power, so it's actually a 7-power sweep. So Phonon will spend 3 force to not take anything. Just kidding. Chykka thinking. Nope, we'll spend 3 force to not take anything. Ragna finds himself now at 7 life, so notably cannot be killed. from this juncture unless a compounding plus sweep happens. That would kill. Oh, wait, no. I mean, it's Phonon. Phonon has plus 2 power action strike. Phonon just can't move. Take a look at the discard. There's one copy of Inferno Divider left that we have to watch out for. It's speed 7. Ragna, of course, has a DP. I'm just so tilted by this degenerate gameplay. Like, I hate how this is a thing, and it's a passable line, right? It's not a bad line, which is why I hate it even more. It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting. Season 5, baby. Anyway, back to Phonon here. It's actually the first turn that Phonon's actually taken more than like 30 seconds to think, just because D's been so aggressive with these wild swings. Phonon taking a look at discards here. Superior boosted from Phonon. Your next attack is considered EX, of course. Don't think we actually zoomed down to this one before. Overdrive goes off. D will take 1 non-lethal damage and then can push 1. Don't think push 1 happens because it's going to be an assault. We're going to be reading a grasp and then playing spike because, like, why not? Actually, just disgusting gameplay. Like, chances of grasp were not super high. D just goes for it. I cannot condone this. Ragnar gains 2 life off that as well because he hit, of course. I wonder if Chykka just drew the grasp. I didn't actually see what hand position it came out of, but if he didn't draw the grasp, I wonder if respect was the better play moving here. Even moving here. No, moving here because just to get the long side of the board, maybe that was a better. Right, so if he gets the long side of the board, you see D wild swinging a lot. He had cross in hand. So if Chykka had grasp in his hand, and this is of course a purely hypothetical thing, because I actually didn't pay attention. If Chykka had grasp in his hand, I believe the correct play was actually respect into cross. And then just like if you get caught by Inferno Divider, you get caught, and like, I mean, it's 1 in 10. Phonon can kill from 8 life, notably with the plus 2 power here. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Apologies to all of you that are more than just listening to the dulcet tones of my voice, but also watching. But yeah, I don't know. Was that actually a mistake from Chykka? That said, I mean, I hate this gameplay existing. Like, this is disgusting, and I'm going to keep saying it's disgusting until the end of times. We're going to see respect come out from Phonon, moving to range 1. Respect should be in play. Yeah, there we go. Back to Ragnar here. Ragnar will do his overdrive, take 1 non-lethal damage, then he may push 1. I'm assuming that Ragnar's going to be pushing 1, and then wild swinging here. We'll take 1 damage, down to 7, and then we'll take a look at his discard comp. His discard comp's pretty good. Will D stop wild swinging here? Nope. There it is again. That's why I would have preferred to see cross in the hand of Phonon at this particular juncture. Cross out to range 5 and just make sure Ragnar's sad. Question mark. This Ragnar's not completely sad though because of this ultra existing card scissors, which this ultra basically hard counters Phonon. But yeah, D with another wild swing. Not much more to say. Plus 1 power, gain 2 life on it as well. Like, this is just, I mean, this is Ragnar, right? This is how the character was designed, right? Just unga bunga gameplay. And D's doing a good job of it, I guess. I mean, there you go. Don't want to be too disparaging, of course. We're gonna see a response of Spike. Ooh, did Chykka count cards here. It's going to be the Dead Spike. So Dead Spike will whiff, of course, because it's a push 1 and then close 2. So I guess, I mean, Chykka playing the odds there, I'm assuming, and just not working out for Ragna. Or not working out for Phonon. Phonon now finds herself down 9-2. Dude, I'd be so tilted if I was Chykka, man. This is disgusting. I will keep saying this is disgusting. Because he phoned on Initiated Strike with +2 power. Notably, both Grasps are down, so Inferno Divider just wins. Grass just wins as well. And yeah. That is game. D takes game 2 against Chykka's Phonon in the most frustrating way possible. I have no compliments. Nothing to say. Why? Okay, and D declares that this is going to be the end of the set. Or at the end of part 1. So, yeah, these guys have agreed to play their remainder of the set later. So D will be up 2-0. Chykka will be forced to play the Phonon in his third game against the Yuzuriha. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do apologize for my negativity towards the end of the game too, but like, if you see that kind of gameplay, like, are you like, come on, man, come on. That's all I gotta say. Come on. But yeah, D takes it 2-0 so far. It doesn't take the set, but is up 2-0. And yeah, both these competitors are going to be playing the rest of their match later. Don't know when, but we will try to catch it whenever we can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, apologies for the negativity towards the end. Maybe I overstepped there a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like I definitely didn't. No, I didn't. I do not apologize. That was a disgusting gameplay. I hate it. See you guys later.